Hi, today I would like to talk about my latest situation. Hopefully, I would like to give you my personal advice if you are younger than me. But if you are older than me or same age as me, please listen to my advice. So, I'm 51 years old, and soon I will be 52 years old. And I have two young kids. One is 9 years old and in fourth grade in elementary school in Japan. So he is studying at public elementary school. And my daughter, I have a daughter. She is 5 years old, only five. So she has been studying at like a kindergarten. So, meaning that I have at least 15 years, 15 years, another 15 years for me that I have to keep working until they will be adults. So, and I don't know if you are familiar with my situation. So I have decided the biggest decision for myself that I will be independent soon. I will be independent soon from December. And this is my first time for me to be independent, to be self-employed, self-employed. So the reason why I have decided this path is that I had a big change with my family members. So and I had to select this path. But I'm still don't know that if I made right decision. And I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure if I could continue be independent until then, until when. And maybe, you know, 1 year from now on or 2 years from now on, I think I will have to give up my ambition and my decision. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today because this is the biggest and the hottest topic, and I wanted to share my feeling, my concern, my fear, my the biggest scary thing for me. So before we continue today's video, I want to make announcement. The first one is that I have started my own business, which will help you guys, foreigners, do anything in Japan. So I would like to be your agent or consultant. So if you are looking for something in Japan, if you want to expand your business into Japan, just please feel free to write your request questions into the application form that I put below in the description. And the second announcement is that I have started other YouTube channels. And one is focusing on my everyday's dinner meal. So you will enjoy the traditional Japanese food, how to make and what it looks like. And another YouTube channel, I'm teaching you basic Japanese language. And my third um, announcement is that I had to start my membership. So if you become my membership, you will access my older videos and also my exclusive upcoming videos. So and everything I put the links below in the description. So okay, the before and now go back to where I was. So I wanted to make advice to you guys. So if and I just checked my profile of this channel. I wanted to know what is the majority of the age group, age band of my YouTube channel. And I realized that most of you guys are like age between 35 and 44 years old. So 60% my viewers represent like age between 35 and 44 years old, meaning you guys are much, much younger than me. I'm 51 years old. And next time I'm 52 years old. And I have decided the biggest decision that I would be independent. And I don't know until when, but I will have to stick for a while until I have next big change in my entire life in terms of my, any condition, any change in my family members. So especially until then, I will have to stick to this condition, this situation for a while. So that's why I had to start my own business, and I had to go back I go back to the YouTube channel, this channel. Now I had to start my other YouTube channels. So, and life is really tough. Life is really tough. Maybe, not only for Japan, but also in other countries, including, and I have already, I also checked which countries the biggest fans you are coming from to this channel, and I realized that the biggest country for my YouTube channel is USA, and following Canada, and Canada is foreign, and UK and Australia, Brazil. So not many Asian countries, but like more European and North American countries. So maybe you do not know the situation in Japan, but maybe I can guess that it seems it must be very, very similar. So my biggest concern is that, so after, if I, in near future, maybe like I explained that, I will have to stay like this situation, maybe at least 1 year or more. It will depend on the situation, my family member's situation. I can't tell the details yet. But so if there won't be any change, or if there won't be any big change, I will have to I will have to stick longer and longer. So, however, I hope that there will be improvements of my situation, especially for my family situation. Maybe I hope that I will come back to the like a legitimate and regular job. But I will be 52 years old or 53 years old in the future when you know, when I make decision that I will come back to the legitimate, the the regular workers, employees of whatever companies in Japan or foreign countries, international companies, whatever it is. But I will have like a 1 year or 2 years blank until I come back. I will come back to the legitimate, the decent job. However, I will be 52 or 53, and maybe some of you may be already independent, and some of you may not be the independent. But independent is really, really tough because you have to do everything by yourself, and you have to fight uncertainty every time, every day, every inch of the time. You know, every day we wake up, you have to think about how to make money, how to survive in this very, you know, difficult situation, difficult environment. No matter what field, no matter what industry, no matter what market you were fighting, you were working, you were devoting yourself. But every day when you wake up, when I wake up, even though I'm still employed, and from December I will be independent, so I can imagine that maybe from December, every time I wake up, the first thing I the first thing I will think about. So, okay, what to do today? So, what do you have to start the day? Maybe if you're very very veteran, running your company by yourself, you must have some routine. But people like me, like an old rookie, yeah, that's the word that I want to say today. I am very very old rookie, even though even though the fact is that in Japan, maybe we have we have so many people, we have so many people in my generation, and me in my exactly same as me, who is forced to start over, who is forced to make start over their their lives, like me. But it was all for me. It was all of a sudden. It was very very sudden. Suddenly it came. It came my life. So before I made my decision, I couldn't. I never ever imagined that I would become independent, even though I started the YouTube channel. But it was like just a side business, and it was very very casual. And I didn't do the YouTube channel, YouTube activities seriously. However, now I have to do YouTube very seriously because currently the YouTube has been only revenue sales, and maybe for a while until I have some legitimate clients in the future. Maybe YouTube will be the only revenue source. So that's why every day I wake up, you know, first thing I have I have in mind is that okay, today what am I going to do? So from December, maybe every day I will have to fight for the biggest concern, the fearful, the fearful by myself. And I don't know what what should I do, what should I say to you guys. But I'm a father of two young kids, and they do not know. They haven't I haven't talked to them yet that I would become independent. So they have no idea what situation I have and they have. And with the pessimistic, pessimistic, the opposite of it, optimistic, the pessimistic the thinking. If I have it, so they will have to give up many things. For example, uh, as I told you before, my son, 9 years old, in fourth grade in elementary school. So he also made his big decision at the beginning of this year. That is studying at prep school for his entrance exam of private junior high school, private mid high school, junior high school. So we didn't know that why he made this decision, but it seems like that his best friend, his best friend mentioned something very positive about private junior high, and maybe his best friend also mentioned negative thing toward against the public junior high. So they they are supposed to go. If they do not, if they wouldn't select the private junior high. So in Japan, so you can go to the public junior high. It's obligation. So after junior high, so there's no obligation. You can start working. However, in Japanese, actually it is constitutional constitution. Japan under the Japanese constitution, you have to study until the junior high, the graduating junior high, until 15 years old, and the government is offering the free tuition fee for the any public school. So meaning, without any entrance exam, you can go study at the the public junior high. However, if you want to go to the top of university, you have to study at the private junior high and high school because the, the education level, there's a big gap between the private junior high and the junior high and high school and public junior high and high school. So the educational level is much higher in the private junior high than public junior high. So that's why if you want to go to the top universities, it's better for your kids to study at private junior highs. But as you can imagine, the tuition is much higher, much more expensive than public junior high. So they need big financial support from the parents, and in my son's situation, so he will need financial support from us. So and before I made a big decision, I wouldn't I wouldn't imagine that I would have this this critical situation. So and uncertainty for the upcoming 2 or 3 years. So and within 2 years, so like explained, he is fourth grade. So meaning within 2 years, he will have to decide either starting at public junior high or private junior high. So if my situation will become worse and worse in terms of financial situation, I think I will have to I will have to tell him to give up to give up study at private junior high. So which is one thing that he may have to he may have to give up his decision, regardless regardless his against his wish. So this is one thing, one example that he may he may have to give up his future hope because of me. And the another situation is that, so this is my son's situation. And what about the daughter? So she is only 5 years old. So she has anything that she can imagine. However, if you know, I will have to be independent for over 5 years, and if what I will do are not going too well, maybe financially we will have to the very difficult situation and financially, and she will have to give up something, maybe in the same exactly the same situation as my son, maybe the private junior high or high school, and further in your future, maybe like a top universities and top college. And as you can imagine, studying at top universities, top colleges in Japan will require the higher the big financial support from your families. So if you know you the families are not rich enough to support their kids to study at top schools, they have to give up studying at the top private colleges, universities. Of course, we have public universities, colleges. However, entering the public universities, colleges is really tough, very tough. So, for example, the Tokyo University and Kyoto universities are public colleges. However, most of the students are coming from the top private high schools. So this is a big contradiction. So the one of the biggest concern for my future financial situation is that how I can support if their educational path, the bright future. So if they have to give up their bright future in their education, in their academic background. So what would happening on if they do not graduate from the college, top university colleges? Even yeah, okay, let's forget about the top. It's okay if the second top, second tier, and the third tier, but they are the still the colleges, universities, and education and academic thing is not the only concern for me, but also I have so many other concerns. So, for example, uh, actually, I was looking at the advertisements, the flyers, advertisement flyers, and for the job opportunities, the local business market, and I found some taxi driver, and the staff at funeral services, funeral services, and those kind of jobs are demanding, because of they are facing the labor shortage. So, and I was thinking that maybe I will be able to be hired by those companies like taxi driver or funeral services. You know, I'm I, I don't I'm I don't mean to that offend these kinds of companies. So they are good. They are good. However, looking at the salary, income, and monthly payment, monthly paycheck, so their monthly paycheck looks like the below average. I think it's below average, and much below the level that I had before. So, and maybe in the future, when I go back to the regular employees, so and I if I can give up many things, many hope, for example. Yeah, hope is the one word, one representing my mind. So if I give up my hope that I would I would come back to the decent, very good companies, maybe I will be able to find the jobs. And maybe, the thinking about how I can support my families, my kids' future, right, educational future. Maybe I will have to like the multiple jobs, maybe taxi driver, YouTuber, or some other things, and combine them together. Maybe I will be able to support them. However, so my biggest concern is how our kids are looking at me, for example, working at in multiple jobs. Are they going to have respect to me, or are they going to are they going to think that they do not they wouldn't be proud of the father's the occupation, what their their father would be doing for the living, for their life, for our life. So I don't know. So decent job. So sorry, I don't know what to say, and what the point I want to make today. But one thing that I can say is that maybe it's better to stick if you are if you are working at some companies as employees, the regular workers at decent companies, or legitimate and the good salary companies. Maybe it's better for you to stay where you were. And sorry if maybe some of you may like I explained that some of you may be working as an independent already, and maybe some of you may be successful in your own business. So this message may not be appropriate, but if you are working as employees, especially the good salary, good paycheck companies, I don't think that it is good idea to leave the company by yourself, by yourself. So you have to stick to where you were. So that's I wanted to talk about at this moment.